Welcome back to the Introduction to My Big Campus tutorial series. In this video, we'll look at creating and managing online student discussions. Let's get started. So I'm already logged in and I'm at my group that I just created. To create a discussion, I'm going to click on the Discussions tab. To add a new one, I click Add Discussion. I need to give it a title. So my class is going to be studying for their test and asking each other questions here. So this is Chapter 6, Solving Systems of Linear Equations. I'm not going to add any tags. That just makes the discussion more searchable. I want it to start now, and I'm going to put a post in there that is higher level, open-ended, because I don't want students to just come to a discussion and post right and wrong answers. What I really want to do is foster discussion among the whole group. So in this case, we're studying for a test. Students can post their questions and they can respond to each other. If needed, I can add files, links, library items, something from my drive, or I could restrict the discussion to specific people. When I'm finished, I save. So now's a good time to pause and talk about expectations for online student writing. It is a little bit different given that students don't need to be in the same place at the same time to participate in the discussion. We've got 4 big ideas. These are just guidelines that would be interpreted and applied differently at each grade level. So the first one is relevance. Students need to be posting things that are relevant to that discussion. The second is contribution to community. The big idea behind a discussion is to get the participants, your students, to share ideas so that all of the knowledge doesn't rest with the teacher, they can help each other. It builds capacity as well as buy-in, and it's a much more rigorous form of communication. The next one is the use of examples. Because we're not all in the same room at the same time, it's hard to know exactly what somebody's talking about. So when students post, say, a question, or when they respond to somebody else's, they need to provide specific examples or refer to a text. They provide some sort of resource so that their question or comment makes sense and is in context. And finally is content. Content is king. Grammar and spelling are important. However, you'll notice when we edit a discussion post that there's no text editor. There's no spell checker. What we care most about in a discussion is the content. What is it that the student is trying to say? And then the rest flows from that. So let's take a look at our class discussion and see if anybody's posted yet. So we're back in our group, and I'm going to click on the discussion post to open it. There's my original post, but as I scroll down, I see that Mike has responded, and he says that he needs help solving question number 4 on the practice test. I found some examples in the notes, but I don't know how to choose the best method. Can someone please help? Thank you. So Mike did a great job here of describing the problem he's working on, what he's stuck doing, and he's looking for some help. Now, I might come back at him with a question, because remember, we're trying to avoid the right and wrong answers all the time. So maybe the first thing I'd like to know is what he's already tried. So now you can see that instead of just a question and answer discussion, we're really building a dialogue, and hopefully he'll come back and describe a little bit more to me, and then I'll be able to go in and offer him some more help, or better yet, another student in our class would come in, and then we'd have a discussion going between multiple people. So that's just an example of the power behind these collaborative online discussions. One last piece about discussions is that it's important for the teacher to monitor what's going on, not only for classroom management type concerns, but also so that when needed, you can interject as an expert in the discussion. That can get to be a lot of work though once you have a lot of discussions running. And if it's February and you had a discussion from October, you're probably not going to keep reading all those posts. So one nice feature in My Big Campus is when you're finished with a discussion, you can click on Close Discussion. What that does is it archives all the content. Everything's there for me to read, but I can no longer respond. It says this discussion has been closed. So let's review. Higher level questions foster student engagement and collaboration. And don't forget the 4 big ideas to focus on for online discussions. We want our posts to be relevant, contribute to the overall community, use examples, and what we care most about is the content. There are times when grammar and spelling are important and definitely aren't things we should overlook, but what we care about the most are the ideas that the student is trying to convey. So that's all for this time. Join us for the next video where we'll talk about student safety on My Big Campus.